We are very fortunate that we are here in front of Srila Prabhupada, in front of Shri Gaunita, Shri Radha Vallabh, Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra, Prahlad, Narasimha. This is one of the fortunate moment in our life, especially in this human form of life, that we can be here. Of course, this is not our doing, this is mercy of Vaishnavas, mercy of Guru and Vaishnavas who went out to preach, especially Srila Prabhupada. Following the parampara, he went out in the Western countries and he preached the glories of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And that's why we are here. So, just as some devotional service, all we can do is read from the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and then implement this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in our life, so that our life becomes successful and those who can see and try to follow, their life also become successful. So, very fortunate that we have gathered here. We will start with our prayer, Jai Radha Madhava, and then we will continue discussing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Let us begin. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Privajakacarya Stata Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Gurudev ki Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Privajakacarya Stata Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON and BBT Founder-Acharya Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Privajakacarya Stata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananda Kori Vaishnavan ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्वासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिना श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री नवदेव धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। यमुना मैया की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। श्याम वेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Sri Radha Vallabh ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, thank you that we are here. All goes to Sri Guru and Gauranga and Radha Vallabh. So today we are continuing our reading of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We are on Canto 7. Canto 7 is the science of God. And we are on chapter 13, the behavior of a perfect person. And today's verse is 37. Of course, we will read 38 and 39 as well, the translation. So let us begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We take the blessings of all the Guru Parampara and all the assembled Vaishnavas that we read and hear and do properly. So, the word Aniha, Paritusta, Atma yadracha upanatat aham no cheta sae bahu ahani maha ahiha sattvavan iva aniha paritustatma yadrachopanatad aham no checha chaye bahu ahani mahahiriva sattvaman aniha paritustatma yadochapanatadaham no chechaye bahu ahani mahahireva sattvaman aniha paritustatma yadochapanatadaham no chechaye yeva ahani mahahireva sattvaman aniha paritustatma yatrojapanadadaham no chechaye bhavani mahahireva sattvaman aniha paritustatma yadrochapanadaham no chechaye bhavani mahahireva sattvaman aniha paritustatma yadrochapanadadaham no chechaye bhavani mahahireva sattvaman. Mataji. Aniha paritustatma yadrochapanadaham no chechaye bhavani mahahireva sattvaman aniha paritustatma yadrochapanadaham na chechaye bhavani mahahireva sattvaman aniha paritustatma yatrojapanadaham na chechaye bhavani mahahireva sattvaman aniha with no desire to possess more paritustata very satisfied atma self yatracha in its own way without endeavor upanatat by things brought in my possession by things brought in by possession aham I no not chet ipso sae I lie down bahu many ahani days maha ahi a python eva like sattvavan enduring. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and Parampara Ki Jai. Translation. I do not endeavor to get anything, but I am satisfied with whatever is achieved in its own way. If I do not get anything, I am patient and unagitated like a python and lie down in this way for many days. Purport. One should learn detachment from the bumblebees, for they collect drops of honey here and there and keep it in their honeycomb. But then someone comes and by force takes all the honey away, leaving the bumblebees with nothing. Therefore, one should learn from the bumblebees not to keep more money than one needs. Similarly, one should learn from the python to stay in one place for many, many days without food, and then eat only if something comes in its own way. Thus, the learned Brahman gave instructions gained from two creatures, namely the bumblebee and the python. So we read the translation of next verse, 2 verses as well, similar, and there is no purport, so we can just continue. So verse 38 translation. Sometimes I eat a very small quantity and sometimes a great quantity. Sometimes the food is very palatable and sometimes it is stale. Sometimes prasad is offered with great respect and sometimes food is given neglectfully. Sometimes I eat during the day and sometimes at night. Thus I eat what is easily available. 39 translation. To cover my body I use whatever is available, whether it be linen, silk, cotton, bark or deer skin, according to my destiny, and I am fully satisfied and unagitated. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Mitamasya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagadapate Gopesya Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Vashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachane Nirvisheshu Shunyavadi Paschatya Desitane Vancha Kalpa Darupasya Cha Kripa Sindhu Pavasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shvasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, we are reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7. The Canto 7 is about science of God. And we have read many chapters on how Sri Prahlad Maharaj and his devotion and his full, firm faith, Lord Narasimha appeared. And then later on, the conversation is going on, especially in last 2 chapters, about the behavior of a saintly people. Especially in this chapter, he says the behavior of a perfect person. In this chapter, in the beginning of verses, we read about how the 4 varnas and 4 ashrams should behave, should understand, and should behave. And in these verses, now, it's about the behavior of a perfect person. So the person who is speaking, so what happened is, Prahlad Maharaj now, of course he wants association of devotees. He is a pure Mahabhagavat, so he also wants association of devotees of Lord Krishna. So he went around searching, where can I find? And he came across this person who is, we have read the description, who is like, looking very, from a body perspective, very fat, but he is lying down, in the sense he is not doing any activity. And then he noticed that this person is not just an ordinary person. His symptoms, even though he is lying down in this way, but then somehow the symptoms are of a pure devotee, Mahabhagavat, Paramahansa. So then he inquired, if I can please know about you, and what's your personality? And then this saintly person is speaking. Then he started speaking, and now he has reached to tell about how he is lying down and why he is not collecting. So here the example is given of a bumblebee. So here he says, verse 37, I do not endeavor to get anything, but I am satisfied with whatever is achieved in its own way. If I do not get anything, I am patient and unagitated like a python and lie down in this way for many days. And in the previous verse, he talked about the the bumblebee. That from the bumblebee I have learned to be unattached, to accumulate money. For although money is as good as honey, anyone can kill its owner and take it away. So from these two examples we have to learn. One is the bumblebee. So now, just to prepare the class, I did some research. Then there are two kinds of bees. It's mentioned in which canto? Yes. It's mentioned in fifth canto. Actually there are, this one is 118, the story of Pingala. So there are two kinds of bees. One is bumblebee and the other one is honeybee. What's the difference? So bumblebee takes, you can do some reading as well. Bumblebee collects little bit, whereas honeybee collects more, like much more than needed. And then bumblebee, it just goes from one flower to another flower and there's always roaming. Whereas honeybee likes to stay and then take out all the juice from the flower, in that sense. And he collects more. So what happened in the end? Of course, the honey keeper comes and takes away all the honey. So from these, we can learn that, of course, we may need to collect something for our maintenance. But then, if we collect more than what is necessary, then what happens? Either government will take away or somebody will come and take away in the form of the borrow or steal. Or here is mentioned, they may kill as well. So this is the detachment. And the python is given. So before we go to python, we take from 5th canto, chapter 1, verse 27. So in that one, there is a description of 4 ashrams, especially in sannyas. So in the sannyas as well, there are 4 stages. And 4 stages is Kuti, Chika, Bahudaka, Parivajaka-charya and Paramahansa. Now what is the system? So this description, the honeybee is given as a Madhukari. Madhukari means, Madhu means the honey. Madhukari means the person who is in renounced order of life, he will go and he will beg little bit from each householder. So the householder doesn't get agitated in the sense feeling that, how much I have to give. At the same time, the person who is in renounced order or practicing renounced order, he will get for the maintenance of his activities. And he can focus on his devotional aspect. But at the same time, he starts collecting more. What happens? That greediness, that bhav, the accumulation will come. And the point of taking the sannyas or progressing toward the sannyas is what? Gradually detaching ourselves on the reliance of all this material aspect and then gradually increasing our reliance or faith on Krishna. And that's what here he says, that I collect whatever it comes in its own way. I'm satisfied with whatever is achieved in its own way. Because Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has, as soon as the material, the living entity comes in this material world, that moment he has organized, even before he has already organized. And that's what he says in Bhagavatam as well, we have seen, that before the creation there was nothing and I created all these different energies, and then yajna, I created the ingredients for yajna, and then you do the yajna and then be satisfied. This is what Lord Vishnu says, right? So he has already arranged. All we need to do is just keep doing devotional service and focus on that one. Main thing is that one. Focus on that devotional service. And another example we have read now is about python. So what is the special thing about the python? Python is lying down somewhere. a very big fat body. He doesn't move too much. Whereas whatever comes, he will just swallow. And then he will maintain. So, what does it mean for us? It means that, yes, things will come. Just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matra spashastu kaunteya, shitoshan sukhudagoda. We don't have to endeavor to get winter. We don't have to get the endeavor to get summer. It comes automatically. The seasons will change. Similarly, happiness and distress will also come and go. Whereas we have to focus on devotional service. Here he says, even to cover my body. So these are very basic necessities of our life. Here is written, translation. To cover my body, I use whatever is available, whether it linen, silk, cotton, bark, and deer skin. So this is just a basic. Previously he discussed about the food as well. See, whatever food is given. And sometimes, here it says, sometimes the food is very palatable and sometimes it is stale. So, for us, even if we get prasadam, then we may become like choosy. Or we may complain that, oh, there is less salt, there is this, there is that. No, take it. Of course, you may want to teach the person who is cooking that, yes, little bit, okay, there was less salt. But the mood is different. The mood is not that, oh, I want to enjoy. It has to taste so nice. Yes, of course, for Krishna's offering, it has to be like that. It tastes so good. But at the same time, for us, like wife is cooking all the time, and then you just say, okay, today salt is less, today chili is too much, or this is too much, that too much. No. Here he says, sometimes the prasad is offered with the respect and sometimes the food is given neglectfully. Whatever way it comes, accept it as a mercy of Krishna. I eat during the day, sometimes at night. Thus, I eat what is easily available, not that we have to do great endeavor. So this is about eating. Now Python, if you read, which chapter? Yeah, Canto, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 5th, chapter 14. It says, material condition. So material condition is considered as a principal needs. That is eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Now sleep is considered as Python. Why? Because it swallows us, in the sense, at night, normally we become less awake of devotional aspect. So it swallows us, meaning it takes away our lifespan without spiritual progress. So we may consider that how much I am putting efforts for sleeping as well. Whether I am desperately looking for sleep, my mood is looking for, hankering for sleep, or yes, you may need some sleep for your body maintenance, 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever is required, yes. But then the desire is what? Whether you want to enjoy the sleep or you want to just help your body recover so that you can function in devotional aspect. So here, the question will come that does it mean that we become a lazy like a python or sleepy like a python? So for that aspect is also nicely covered in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 11th canto, chapter 8, verse 4. I just read because it's very nice. One should not think, however, that the purpose of life is to lie on ground like a python or to make a show of starving the body. See, these two aspects are covered. One is we discuss about the eating, and the other thing we discuss about he is lying down at one place. So here it says that we should not think that the purpose of life is to lie down and make a show of starving the body. The example of the python should not encourage one to become completely inactive. One should rather become active in spiritual advancement and inactive in material sense gratification. So that detachment mood is this one, that we should hanker for more spiritual progress and more spiritual connectivity rather than connecting ourselves with the material activities, material sense gratification. And there is a fine line. One side it will become spiritual, the other side will become material. And that fine line we have to understand, we have to realize by studying the scriptures, associating with the devotees, chanting Hare Krishna, doing the devotional service. Krishna from within also guides, because he says, Sarvasya Chaham Riti Shinavisto. Then also there is a 11th, I forgot the verse, Deepena, that verse. He sits in our heart and then he enlightens the living entity with the transcendental knowledge. He removes the ignorance. So, if one becomes completely inactive, that is certainly Nidra, or the darkness of ignorance, in which one remains asleep to his identity as an eternal servant of the personality of Godhead. So this is not what we want to do. We take the example of Python for a spiritual advancement, that we don't want to do the endeavor, hard endeavor to collect more and more or become lazy, honeybee and bumblebee. Take the example of bumblebee, collect some and then use it in devotional service. Another verse we can refer, similar, from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 70, that is 70. What he says? Krishna says, similar. So here he says, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flows of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, that person can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So here, that is what this Python or this Brahmana is teaching us, that his desires, he has limited his desires, not that he doesn't eat, not that he doesn't sleep, but he is focusing on Krishna consciousness, he is focusing on the connectivity, whether it would be from within or it would be some devotional service. Naturally here we can see that he is on a Paramahansa stage, the last stage of sannyas. That means he doesn't even have to do external activities. From within also he can do the devotional service. And that's what happens especially in that is the samadhi stage, where he just wants to just focus on the lotus feet of Lord and chant his glories and then leave his body. Another verse we can see is 4.22. So 4.22 he says, he who is satisfied with gain which comes in its own accord. This is Krishna's verse. So what Krishna says, he who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions. So the point is, even though from external perspective, people may say that, oh, how come you are not doing so much, like doing so much endeavor? But we don't have to. Here he says, one who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord and free from dualities. Although we will be living in this world, we will not be entangled in this world. Because now the point is, we are detached, in the sense we are disconnected with the material aspect of this world. And similar, we can see the examples. The examples nicely described, I came across, is Madhavendra Puri, Sripad Madhavendra Puri. So what he would do, he would not eat. He was living in Vrindavan and he would not eat anything. He would not even do the madhukari. He will not even go and beg some alms or some food from others. Rather, he will just rely on devotional aspect. Of course, we may not be able to do the same way, but at least we can understand what is the level, that so much of reliance on Krishna. And then what happened? Krishna would personally come and give. He brought milk for him. Right? He brought milk for him. Another example we can see, of course, this is our own Bhagavad Gita. We can read that example of Arjuna. Arjuna, he felt like, okay, no, I can be satisfied with 5 villages. I don't need anything more. Krishna, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Krishna, you go and request Duryodhan just to give us only 5 small villages, and that's enough. So the mood is that they did not want to endeavor. Of course, Krishna had a different purpose, and then later on he realized and then he did it. He fought for Krishna. But the point is, he was satisfied. It's not that 5 Pandavas wanted the big kingdom for their own sense gratification. No, that was not the purpose. They were satisfied that, oh, if we can avoid this war, if we can avoid this killing, then better we do that way. And of course, later on they understood that Krishna has a different plan. He wants to set up the example. Now we can come to our Prabhupada. So one side is Madhavendra Puri, but the other side we can see Prabhupada. Of course, Prabhupada, he is coming from Vrindavan. He was living in Vrindavan. He has gone through these scriptures. Yeah? It's not that he didn't go through these verses. He had gone through these verses. But what he did, he went to the West and then he established how many? Now it's about maybe 800 centers. But that time Srila Prabhupada did 108 centers. He traveled across. He didn't sit idle. Like he would translate. At night he would translate. Yeah? And then he collected what? Many, of course, temples, disciples, money, books. So, see, one side here we are discussing about Madhukari, the bumblebee and python, and here the other side is we can do this endeavor, great endeavor for devotional service. We can do so much for Krishna. So much, without any limit. But there is a fine line. And that fine line we have to understand where it is sitting. How we can understand that fine line? Through sadhu, guru and scriptures. So, another point we can consider 3, yes. Now, of course, if I apply the same for myself, I'm trying, but considering I'm still working, so that this is just a sharing, realization perspective. Sometimes this come across, like to get a promotion, you may have to go through so much of hard work, you have to please your boss. You have to do so much. This exam, and nowadays so many exams are there. This certification, that certification, where will it end? Yes, one side is you may want to get more money for facilitating your maintenance, but at the same time, where will it end? It will go on. This certificate 1, certificate 2, but at the same time, if we apply this principle, so we can detach ourselves from that. Take the example of python or bumblebee, we take enough for our maintenance from a work perspective, but now we can endeavor, we can do so much hard efforts for Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhaktivedanta. See, we can take up the service of doing the Bhakti Vriksha. That is also teaching. That is also great certification. It's a great certification. So, that we have to understand from the examples of this python and honeybee, bumblebee, always. I used to sing like very nice song, this, of course. But this sentence is very nice. It says, Khali hath aaye the, hum khali hath jayenge. There was a Hindi movie. It says, we come empty-handed and we will go empty-handed. So what will we do in between? Bas pyar ke do meet, bol. Something it says, we will just sing out the 2 words of love. Of course, for us, it's love for Radha Vallabh, love for Radha Krishna, love for Prabhupada, love for the devotees, devotional service. So, that we have to understand. From this example, it gives us that spiritual wisdom through which we can see that, okay, I will put so much endeavor now, but what will happen in the future? I will go empty-handed. But what I want to carry with me? I want to carry with me the devotional bank balance, not that material bank balance. It will not come. And that's the example they are setting, that bumblebee and python. So, we can apply in personal life. Of course, also I remember now, recently we've been to New South Wales. We just visited over the weekend. And of course, I won't name the person, but those persons were describing their glorious efforts. And no doubt, they did it so good. But now it's like they have 10 plus businesses. 10 plus, and they want to increase more and more. And later on, of course, like they showed us the big, huge farm, like so huge. We can't even 40,000 acre or hectare, whatever, meter square. The like minimum is like 150. So they were describing, and then later on, they told us the other side, that they can't sleep until 2 o'clock in the morning. One person said that this, and the other person said that he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking that I have to pay the bill for this tenant, because he has how many? 10 plus properties. Now he has to pay, he has to do this fix for this tenant, he has to do this for that house. How much money I will accumulate, when can I sell it so that I gain more? And as soon as the money will come, what will I do with that money? Where will I invest? You see? And so much huge, so many different businesses, not in one stream, like in 10, 15 direction, the businesses are spread. Yeah? So, ultimately, from a devotional perspective, from the spiritual perspective, what happens if he doesn't take up the devotional aspect, doesn't take up the real understanding of Krishna consciousness? What will happen? That will become zero. And the problem he will face, he will continue facing now as well. He can wake up, he will not sleep until 2 o'clock, and he will wake up at 3 o'clock. Somehow, hopefully he will read, or they will read this Bhagavad Gita they got, and they will understand. And somehow they say, okay, you can speak something, Krishna Katha. So I had to tell the business, I had to tell what we can learn from Bhagavad Gita. Yes, focus on this side as well. Otherwise, what will happen? It will go away. Now, in terms of the another very nice phrase we can see from Gandhiji. See, Gandhiji, he gave this very nice statement. He says, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. So these two examples are giving us that the python is lying down, is waiting for his karma. According to our karma, we will get. Nothing will go away. Especially with Krishna, nothing, no one can take away what we will get. And if Krishna decides that I want to give this person this much, no one can stop it from us getting it. We, from our end, we don't want to, just like example I give, that just because I will get promotion just so that I can flatter my boss, I don't have to create that mentality, that consciousness that, oh, for promotion I have to work very hard to show. No, you change the job. If it is taking too much, change the job. Krishna will put you a very nice spot where you can nicely do the devotional service. At the same time you will get promotion, at the same time you will get money, plenty. If that is, I'm coming from the Grihastha side, that's why I'm speaking, right now I'm working. That's why this is like a personal example, realization. This is the example we have to relate. We have to relate that yes, I want to have a complete faith in Krishna. I want to have a complete faith in whatever the destiny Krishna has given. I will get. Not that I have to do hard endeavor to go through one exam after another exam and satisfy them. Oh, you did this, what do you call, Azure certification, ITIL certification, this and that, and it doesn't work. It's just a piece of paper. And then another example, and this I come across often, is about, and many we can see is even from this perspective, the people we met, the property is investment. Like, yes, you can have one property, live, maybe two, but then how about you have 7, 10 properties, and then you have to worry about what will happen. What will happen in the future? I gave this to my friend many years back. He got another property, he got another business. I told him. He asked, what do you think? Should I? I said, no, don't. And now he has come back. After 8 years, he realized it's too much headache. See? So, from the scriptures, we learn that we have to have a faith on Krishna. We have to have a faith on the Guru Parampara. We have to have a faith on the devotional aspect, the teachings. And then everything will come. And in the end, we will see a very nice quote as well. So, from that perspective, we can see that I want to put my endeavors in more spiritual. If we, sometimes the another example comes is a tax. Oh, you can do investment to save the tax, but then other side is do the less work. Don't work more. Just cut down your hours. If you think that you have to pay higher tax, cut down your hours. Do the direct devotional service. Just sit at home and read the scriptures. Prabhupada has written so nicely. Cut down your hours and read. Come to the temple and do the devotional service. Do 4 days. Do 3 days. In future, Krishna will provide money, no problem. Okay, so it's getting 8:30. I will stop soon. So from this perspective, if we apply to the society, what can we see? If we apply this, the principle here, we have to collect what is needed. Just like Gandhiji also said, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. If we apply this principle, then what will happen? All these other extra things will stop. Especially the slaughterhouses, wineries, and factories. It's not needed. We can utilize, at the same time we don't have to encourage. We can sustain on a nice small car, not that we have to encourage buying every year new car. And within our ISKCON, the sharing will increase. If we have that mood, not to accumulate more, but rather we will share. Even we will share our properties. We will share our money. We will share our efforts. So with conclusion, I want to quote Prabhupada's nice purport in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 8, Verse 4. This is how we can relate these two, python and bumblebee. A transcendentalist is eager to execute his service to the Lord, and therefore he is grateful when the Lord provides material facilities for such service. Mere renunciation of the material world is Phalgu Vairagya, or an immature stage of spiritual understanding. One must come to the stage of Yukta Vairagya, engaging everything in the service of the Lord. That is Lord Krishna. It is our practical experience that a devotee absorbed in spreading Krishna consciousness automatically receives all facilities for his personal maintenance. And Prabhupada writes, it is our practical experience. Prabhupada normally writes not as my, but he would write as our. So, considering the whole parampara. So, here he says, it is our practical experience that a devotee absorbed in spreading Krishna consciousness automatically receives all facilities for his personal maintenance. Automatically. And that's the last verse of Bhagavad Gita as well. Where is that? wherever Krishna and wherever Arjuna are there, what happens? Victory will come. The wealth will come. Morality will come. And what's the fourth one? I forgot the fourth one. Huh? What's the fourth one? Sri Vijayo, victory. Yeah, anyway, fourth one I forgot. See? So Krishna will provide. We have to focus. Our consciousness has to focus on developing relationship with Krishna, doing devotional service. Everything else will be provided. Of course, we may have to do some endeavor, and Prabhupada has shown the endeavors. He has done it. And we just have to follow. Not become greedy. Just take the enough for our maintenance and move on to devotional service. So we stop here. If any question. Yes?
We should take whatever comes to us according to our destiny. But Prabhu, without working, how can we get anything? Even for a little thing, we have to put so much effort. So how do we understand these 2 points?
Very good. So without efforts, just like Arjuna also had to fight. Know that Krishna is his friend and his God. He will utilize his Sudarshan. Krishna has already said, no, I will not fight. But still, Arjuna accepted Krishna. And then Krishna guided him. So when we take up devotional service, when we do something, when we may feel like, oh, I'm coming to the service, I'm doing the reading and then I'm utilizing my time, whereas I could have gone to Uber delivery or Uber driving or do more run. Then what happens? Then you are developing that consciousness. But what happens? If you allocate some time, Krishna rewards, you will not notice straight away, but down the line you will notice somehow Krishna will give one Uber trip that you will reach from east to west, and that's about it. Finish your business story. In between you could come to the temple, take the afternoon's darshan, and you feel like, oh, I'm holding here, attending the aarti, but what about I have stopped my Uber? No, as soon as you step out from the temple, you will get the trip which will go to Geelong, you know. So this is how Krishna arranges. So we have to just rely on Krishna. And here the verse says that 18.66, no, not 80 point, this one, 78, yeah? Victory will come, wealth will come, Lakshmi will go. So our maintenance, what is there our maintenance? Our maintenance is devotional service. I as a soul is devotional service. Other facilities is for the body, and that will come. We have to, it's not that we will become lazy, and that's why we read that example, the 11th canto. That it's not that we will become a lazy person that sit and don't do. Where is that? Yes, 11th canto, chapter 8, verse 4. Here it says, one should not think, however, that the purpose of life is to lie on the ground like a python or to make a show of starving the body. Yeah? We have to do endeavor. Even Arjuna had to do endeavor, even though Krishna, the Supreme Bhagavan, is his friend. Yeah? So, you do your duty. Right now you are studying, you study and utilize that study in Krishna's service later on, wherever you can. Here they have some rules, so you can't maybe not speak actively at school, but Krishna will give you the opportunity. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other question or comment? No? Then Granth Raj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Prabhuji.
he had a goal to have enough money for his grandchildren to go back to work. That was his goal. And he worked hard and...
So, sorry, Prabhuji, what did you say?
His goal was to earn enough money that his grandchildren to go back to work. So he earned money and he invested in properties around that were about to go up in price. He worked it all out. But then what happened was his first wife divorced him. Then he got a second wife. And when he passed away, he money went to his second wife. But then his second wife got another partner. So then when she went into a nursing home, the partner took all the money. So that his children ended up getting very, very little. What's with his grandchildren, although he was very rich. So you really don't know what's around the corner. So better to utilise your time in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that's true. And recently I read one Chinese lady, she gave all her money to a dog, not to the kids. In a will, proper will.
Yes, exactly. If someone's the elderly person's cheating off with their children and they give all the money to the dog or the cat or something.
So
You don't know what's around the corner.
that's true. And I forgot to mention, but the time is very precious. No amount of money or other endeavors will give us that time back. So better utilize that time for devotional service. Jai. Granthra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Anantapuri Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Feuds over inheritances.
Nothing more hateful.
The one boy was working in a warehouse, so he was so hard, and he had a plan in 3,000 everything, and then he died. He made everything, he died. Before he wanted to finish up, he died, and his workmate was married his wife and everything.
Yeah, that's it. He made 10 all money when he would go to my children. That actually happened.